Hello and welcome, true art believers, and welcome to the #1 live art streamer in the world. This is Pierson here, and you may be wondering, how is it a person who only gets a few views is claiming to be the #1 live art streamer in the world? I'll tell you why. It's because your thoughts become patterns, they become habits, and whenever you start stating things, you start modeling your habits around said statements. So if I don't say it, I'm not going to model my habits around it. So I'm going to be modeling my habits around that, and then eventually 5 years from now, I will be the #1 live art streamer. You want to know why? Because I'm just gonna out volume everyone. That's why, or that's how. Just keep doing it, right? I'm just going to keep producing work, keep producing live art streams, and eventually traction will happen and good things will happen, right? The process is what yields the outcome. Anyways, I don't want to get on a soapbox. Let's do a drawing, shall we? So today I have another brand new tree drawing I'm going to do today, and I am going to play around I'm going to do a little bit of experimentation. Don't know what I'm going to do yet or how I'm going to pursue it, but I have some ideas on what I'm going to pursue from here. So let's begin. I hope you enjoyed the drawing process. Let's begin right now. Cue the intro. Boom. All right, I'm back. Oh my gosh. I was starting and then I clicked out of the window. Oh gosh, that is funny. That's gonna be that's gonna be embarrassing. Not really. It's always, it's always, this is not like this is like Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong will. So that's what's happening here. So right now is Murphy's Law is in full effect because I just kicked myself out accidentally. And the reason why is I just don't have two screens. I need to have two screens here in order to do the type of drawing that I want to get done. And so let's begin. All right, we're going to begin. We're not going to have any music. We're just going to draw for 30 minutes and see if I can get it somewhere. So I got to put my little time lapse thing on here. Starting now, time lapse, and here we go. I'm sharing the screen, yada, yada, yada. We got 30 minutes, and let's begin, shall we? So a very simple little process that I've been doing lately has been, what has it been? Got to get this darn, there we go. There we go. Has been just doing a little simple background color, or trying to actually. There we go. So every time I exit out of Photoshop accidentally, it acts as though like I've never even been there. Like, who are you? Why are you here? Right? And I'm like, I'm here to draw. And they're like, well, we're not going to recognize your stylus at all. So you got to do some weird shenanigans to get the stylus to show. So I'm like, wait a second, I just want to draw here. Why do I have to do all these shenanigans? And I'm like, well, that's just what we do. That's how we work here in shenanigan land. So I kicked myself out of my live stream because I X'd out of the actual live stream here, and I didn't mean to do it. You know what'd be nice? The next thing we'll be doing is I'm gonna be looking into how to how to get this drawing out of the way, this tree out of the way. All right. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to, we got this tree, and it's just going to be a simple shape. We're going to start out by doing a little simple little outline. It's a simple little tree, a simple shape, right? And we're going to do this as the outline. Now we're going to go in, and we're just going to go and play around with it. We're not even going to do, ooh, I did not see that happening. We're using like a charcoal brush here, and I'm using that to kind of get just a simple like foliage appearance. And then what I want to do after that is I want to what I want to do after that. I don't know what I want to do after that actually. We're just doing simple little drawings here. I wish I knew what I wanted to do with this drawing, because this goes with the one of the problems that I have been having lately is I don't have like a plan of action when I'm doing these drawings. I'm just kind of doing these impromptu drawings right now just to do them. Before I had some experience with the drawing technique. So this is kind of new. Just trying to figure it out as I go along the way, which is probably not a good thing to do, especially when you're live streaming. Especially when you're live streaming and you kick yourself out like 5 seconds from the live stream and you're like, am I in it? Is it still going? Okay. Why is it doing that? The opaque brush shouldn't have, it should just make a flat erasure mark. Right now it's like doing a pressure sensitive erasure mark. Eraser. See that? What if I do the hard edge? Well, that's funny. Not. So what it means is I inadvertently like changed the brush setting, and I don't know how to change it at the moment. I'll have to like spend just a moment of time kind of correcting that. Is it the mode? Press E. So I'm pressing E. So what's happening here is, for some odd reason, my brush setting, whenever I use a hard round brush, which is supposed to make an erasure that is solid, it's actually acting as if it's a pressure sensitive, and I don't want that. I want a hard edged brush erasure mark, right? So that's what I need to go figure out why it's doing that. Unfortunately, when you're doing a live stream, like, do I got to problem solve this? So I'm just going to have to press real hard, apparently. which is kind of irritating actually. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a um, a line that's going to flow, opacity, smoothing, erase to history. Maybe is that what causes it? Maybe I press that. No, no, I don't want to do that. So I don't know all the brush settings, and that's my bad. Sorry, fellas. That's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to center the piece. Definitely don't want to do that. All right. So now we got to press V, move that in here. And boom. Now we just take this outline and we're just going to go from here. Really, really, that took a lot longer than it should have. I apologize. About 10 minutes. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty here. So using some of the tools that I found here is we're going to go. I probably should have picked a better tree as a example. I'm not going to use that darn example that I have. I drew it. I drew like a very simple rendering of it, and I was like, this is dumb. This doesn't look good. So we're going to go from there. Okay. Just doing a very simple little undertone here. Probably using a brush that's too big. Right? And now we're going to do another layer. This time we're going to do some sort of like I'm just going to make it a little bit more organic, a little bit more jagged. Using this brush here. Now I wish there was I was more upbeat, but right now when I draw, I'm always kind of concentrating and that's kind of a shame. Who wants to draw trees anyways? This is an ugly tree. Maybe I want to do something here. We're gonna So I tried merging the group here, or I wanted to. What did I want to do? Oh, it looks like I'm erasing. I was like, why is it looking different? So I'm just playing around right now. So perhaps this is kind of like a more of a childlike, or like a what would you call it, a all right. Now, let's do something now. Let's play around some this is like a it's like a scumbling ink. I'm really not good at trees. I had an idea when I was working on this, and I thought, oh, I can just wing it. So this is going to just be like, I'm just going to put this to what not to do. Right? What not to do in a drawing. Don't do this. So we're going to play around here. We're going to try to use a line. Apparently I can't use one because X, there we go. We're going to just kind of, we're going to make a real, I'm going to see if I can make some sort of like, I need a textured like, I need a textured mark brush. That's too textured. I need something that's maybe if I do another layer and then maybe just do like a an overlay. So maybe if I do something like this. No. It's a normal, but maybe have the transparency a little bit darker. So 45 maybe. A little lighter. No. So I am changing the opacity to 45%. No, I don't want to be famous. Not through you. Get out of here. You're a liar. I actually like the brayer. So the next thing I'm gonna be doing is looking up how to like draw a tree. I mean, like a made up tree, and how to use the brushes so that I can get the desired effect that I'm looking for. Because I feel really bad because there's days where I'm really on point, right? And some days, like these days, I just don't get it. Like I just don't get it, right? This is a bad tree. I started out with some good intentions. Like this is a bad tree. Like, let me tell you how bad this tree is. This is a garbage tree. It's so bad. And you like I could show you my drawings that when I have a source that I'm working from and I have hours and hours of time to work from, but I just don't for some odd reason I just can't like I just don't get this digital media too well. Like everyone's like, it's easy, just like you got all these access to textures and stuff. Like I don't know what to do with half these textures. It's just so there's just too much information that I'm working with. Like do this, do that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this, and I start messing around with it. Like okay, how big do I make the brushes? Like oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big you make those brushes, right? Apparently it does. So let's hope that this pans out in the time frame that I have allotted for myself. So this tree is formless, right? Doesn't have a lot of form to it. So maybe I should just like dig into that and just kind of give it no form. Like, or I'm give it some form in a very simplified, loose sense. So in my 6 minutes, I might just kind of we're just gonna treat it like a cartoon tree. Why not? Treat it like a cartoon tree. Kind of dig into that lean into that nuance. Why not? Let's treat it like a cartoon tree and just kind of go from there using these just simple brushes. We're gonna leave some of the history from the previous one, from the previous like the background, but we're not gonna overly emphasize that. And what is to take this as like a loss and a learning experience. Like we go from completely, and maybe like do some like some yellows. I wanted to get into special lines, but I just couldn't, for some odd reason. There we go. Why not? I don't know how to merge a group. How do you merge a group? I gotta. There we go. I'm gonna merge this group, and we're gonna do some erasing. This is something I wanted to try using. Well, I'm trying to do an eraser mark, but we can't seem to find gradual eraser mark that I have here. What if I so I'm using this special eraser. It's kind of like it's called a kneaded eraser. I'm just trying to see what it does. I don't know if I like it. Just playing around with the kneaded eraser. And then we're going to, yeah, we got 1 minute, 22 seconds. Again, I'm not holding much stock on this tree. I just use it as an experimental piece. And you saw me struggling, and I was getting a little worried. I had like, if you saw my face, there was probably some like, uh-oh, I'm getting way over my head. And you think after doing so many darn portraits, I would know what I'm doing, but I haven't. I've done like 20 portraits, and like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I probably need to do about 1,000 portraits to really know what I'm doing. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to start looking into that. Maybe do a little bit of soft. I'm gonna do hmm. Just playing around with color dodge. I don't know why. And that's time. Yeah, that is it for the day. Woo! Wow, you're watching the #1 live art streamer in the world who actually can't draw a tree. For gosh sakes, I can't draw a tree. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, this was a rough one, folks. I am going to have to go back to the drawing board and probably spend some time thinking about this a little bit. Like I thought I had it, but I didn't think about it near as much as I did the previous drawing. I thought I could kind of jump into it, try to recreate the same thing I did last time, but using an example. And it just didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. I need to start out simple. I'm going to start out simple again. I'm probably going to spend a moment figuring out the erasing marks, erasures. So that's what I try to do a little bit today. I had this idea of using the eraser brush to kind of show the background a little bit, to some varying degree of success. Again, I'm going to come back to the drawing board and hopefully I'll have a better tree for you next time. I think I might just jump into it and do a palm tree next and use some of the ideas that I had planned. I was thinking about doing like my next thing is to actually make a more of a environment setting as opposed to like this weird little poppy thing that I got going in the background here. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, before I go, I'm going to sign it because who cares? What day is it? 108. We're going to zoom in here. Now, they can't all be winners, folks, although they probably should all be winners. And I probably should know what I'm doing, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning. This is a drawing. This whole process is new to me. So I'm still learning as I go. And what's this? 108. If you look at some of my portraits, you would know that they're actually quite good. They're not bad. They're not like excellent, but they're not bad. But they take a long time for me to do. I'm just a really slow learner. So what it's going to take, it's going to take next time is I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back and think about this real hard about like what I need to be doing with this drawing, where it's going. I need to strategize a little bit more. Probably write it down. I might even do some pre-sketching prior. I might do some sketching prior to the actual drawing process. And I have some ideas of how it's going to go. I want to make it more like a more planned out. I want it to look more finished and not as chaotic as this. Again, I had a few hiccups at the very beginning. Were throwing me off. For some odd reason, my erasure marks are not working. I don't know why. Maybe I have to reset the whole Photoshop. For some odd reason, this happens often. Like I'm doing something, when I press this little button right here, bad things happen. Like this is button right on this stylus here. Bad things happen. I press something. I'm drawing. I press it, and in the act of drawing, I move something around, and I didn't mean to do it. I'm like, what the heck did I just do? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this drawing process. I know it wasn't the greatest of drawings, but it definitely was a good laugh. So there it is. There's my tree. Not a great tree. It's not a bad tree, but it's not one that I'm going to brag about. It's not like some of my drawings that I do that I spend 30 hours on. When I spend 30 hours on a drawing, you can tell that I spent 30 hours on it because it looks pretty tight. But this one is not good. I hope you enjoy the drawing process. I got to get going. I got to get going. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Pierson out.